Well, hello, friends, and welcome to the Imago Nutrition Podcast, where we answer your questions and give practical nutrition strategies to help you and your family flourish. And Danielle, I would be remiss at the top of this episode if I did not acknowledge a massive milestone. This is the 100th episode, and while we haven't done them all together, that means you have endured a lot of episodes with me. So congratulations to us, and in particular, congratulations to you for putting up with me for so long. Happy 100th episode.
Yes. How exciting.
Not bad, not bad. So we're on to 200. We'll see how long it takes us to get there. We try to pump these out, every week-ish. Sometimes we take 3 months off, but you never know, right? Life happens. And so I'm excited for today. It's our 100th episode, and we thought it would be appropriate to circle back to something that we talk about a lot, both in our private work with clients and here on the podcast and our social media, which is the 4 pillars of nutrition. But here's where it gets good for you. We're going to give you some practical meal examples. Excuse me, that was an ill-timed cough. Some practical meal examples for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that incorporates these 4 pillars. So it's one thing for, a guy like me to be like, lean meat, seafood, dairy, fruits and veggies, whole grains, nuts and seeds. You're like, but that's not how I eat. That's not how I cook. That's not how my family has meals together, right? We just don't go through the pillars, Mark. So Danielle is here to bring some sanity to these pillars and some practical application. So Danielle, if you don't mind, I'll just set us up real quick and talk about what the 4 pillars are. And then we'll get into some practical meals that people can enjoy, if that sounds good. How's that sound on your end? All right, very cool. By the way, I'm going to be up in St. Louis this weekend. I'm coming up to see you guys. So
that's awesome.
We should take some selfies together or something like that for social media so people know every once in a while we're in the same state. So
sounds good.
All right. Real quick, just by way of introduction for those, whether this is your first time hearing the podcast or the 100th time, God bless you, listening to the podcast, something that we've mentioned a lot, and virtually all our clients in some way, shape, or form come across these 4 pillars. It's really a foundational piece. I like to tell my clients this is not new necessarily. It's not novel. This isn't a secret. It's not a diet. It's not a hack. This is us just putting a term on nutrient-dense, minimally processed foods to help people, myself included. We really kind of formulated this, when we first started the company, just be like, how do we kind of talk about all these foods that we know are the best, but in a way that people can remember, right? So we sort of coined the 4 pillars of nutrition, though we don't hide it. There's a page on our website. You can go to imagonutrition.com and go in the navigation. There's a tab. It just says 4 pillars. You can click on that, read all through that, food examples, why these foods are important, all that sort of stuff right there. Again, not something you have to pay for. If everyone in the world would begin consuming more and more of these foods, we would be way better off than we currently are. So far be it from us to try to hide this thing under a bushel, if you will. So that said, 4 pillars of nutrition is a framework, right? Designed to fulfill your and your family's body's core nutritional needs while fueling positive long-term health outcomes, right? So as I said, it's a framework, and we're talking about preferring a greater array, right? So just preferring more and more of these nutrient-dense, minimally processed foods, okay? Because your body requires, of course, as you may know, a wide array of nutrients. So a lot of times people get overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, there's macronutrients, there's carbs, there's protein, there's fat, there's different types of fats, different types of carbs, different types of proteins. There's vitamins, there's minerals, these are macronutrients, these are micronutrients, there's fiber, which is a carb, but it doesn't get digested. We get all this stuff, and we get so caught up in analysis paralysis that we don't really have a clear path as to what are the foods that I can consume more of so that I can adequately intake all these glorious array of nutrients that our body needs. Okay. So consuming foods from these 4 pillars will deliver much, if not all, of these essential nutrients if you do it in a wide array, which nourishes the body, fuels your metabolic processes, and fuels positive long-term health outcomes, which is ultimately what we should all be after. Okay. And then last bit, and then I'll give us the pillars. We're going to get into the meals here. Okay. These are not the only foods you can eat. The most disastrous thing you could do is hear what we're about to say and think this is the diet that I need to stick to. Okay. you'll notice that I don't list key lime pie. It's my favorite dessert, and I love key lime pie. I don't list that. It's not part of the 4 pillars, but do I eat key lime pie? Oh, yeah, you betcha. Okay. So these are not the only food you can eat. But again, these are foods to gradually, consistently begin preferring more of in your day-to-day routine, again, in order to reach, whether it's your individual goals, whether it's weight loss, muscle gain, fitness performance, optimal health, lowering blood pressure, lowering high cholesterol, if you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, whatever it is, the same foods apply. You should be consuming more of these array of these foods consistently over time so that you can experience a wider array of health benefits. Okay, so real quick, here are the 4 pillars. I kind of mentioned them earlier. Just a simple way to remember the foods that you want to prefer more of, not the only food you can eat. Pillar 1 is lean meat, seafood, and dairy. We'll talk a little bit about some of the foods and what this will actually look on your plate. So pillar 1 is lean meat, seafood, and dairy. Pillar 2 is fruits and veggies. All of them. That includes avocados on the fruit side. That includes beans and legumes on the veggie side. All of them. All fruit and vegetables safe for human consumption should be consumed. Okay? It's weird that in 2025, there's an entire movement on TikTok and online in cahoots with this carnivore trend that is telling you that fruits are bad for you, vegetables are out to kill you, and yet every study we see says more fruits, more vegetables, the longer you live. So pillar 1, lean meat, seafood, and dairy. Pillar 2, fruits and veggies, all of them, all of them. Pillar 3, whole grains. Pillar 4, nuts and seeds. Okay, lean meat, seafood, and dairy, fruits and veggies, whole grains, nuts and seeds. Danielle, that's good, great, and grand. And I love going through that list. I do it all the time. The way I eat, that works for me very well because I'm not responsible for cooking or putting meals together. My glorious wife is. So help us land the plane practically and put these 4 pillars into practice, breakfast, lunch, and dinner on our plate. Let's go.
All right, sounds great. Well, an image I like to have in my head when I'm building a meal is what I call the plate method. And it's a 4th-year plate of those carbohydrate foods, which is in a few of those different pillars. Mm-hmm. A 4th-year plate protein, which is also in 2 of the pillars, mm-hmm. or 3. So they're kind of mm-hmm. all mixed together. And then half of your plate is considered fiber or sometimes non-starchy vegetables. So for breakfast, you know, we're not always going to get our veggies in for breakfast. Maybe that's going to stay for lunch and dinner. So for breakfast, I think about a high fiber carb. You're going to tackle both 2 of those sides of that plate, and then pairing it with a protein. So for breakfast, I always think protein plus high fiber carb. And nice. Again, this is 90% of the time. Sometimes you won't have a high fiber carb. That's totally fine. So your protein is going to help you feel satisfied, and that fiber is going to help you feel satisfied, and then the carb is giving you energy. So you're starting your day off on the right foot. Mm-hmm. So with that said, some practical examples. I love using dairy. There's that one for protein for breakfast. So yogurt and kefir, typically the biggest 2 that I turn to. So you can have yogurt and kefir plus a high fiber cereal. So like a yogurt parfait. And you can put some berries in there, of course, or maybe a high fiber muffin. I like to make pumpkin muffins in bulk and then throw them in my freezer. So they are a good grab to go option. Nice. Then you can control how much added sugar is in them. Kefir, if you're not familiar with that, is a probiotic drink. It has 12 probiotics, and the best yogurt on the market has 6. So you really want to look at how many bacteria are listed on the label. Sometimes it will say 6 live and active cultures. Then you don't have to count the list on the back of the label. But yeah, so that's my first example. So yogurt or kefir plus a high fiber cereal or a high fiber muffin.
Love it.
And I did try to make most of these breakfast ideas really fast for, busy families. And sometimes, if you do a little prep work, you can have more fast options available without going towards convenience or processed foods. So it maybe takes me like 20 to 30 minutes to make those muffins. And like I said, they make probably 24. So they stay in the freezer for a good amount of time. So my second example is also getting some protein. So protein pancakes. I have three that I kind of rotate with. Most often I use the ricotta pancake recipe that you'll find in our cookbook. So if you haven't downloaded that, please do.
Oh,
Um,
and
yeah.
I'll do the selling. You set it up perfect. So if you go to imagonutrition.com/free, this is a new resource that we haven't talked much about. We've been rolling it out a little bit on like our personal socials and seeing tons of people going and downloading, which is epic. So if you would like a 60+ page cookbook from Danielle delivered to your inbox for free, head over to imagonutrition.com/free, and you can just enter your email. It will send you that cookbook, and these are included. My wife has made them. I think we've had them when we've been at your house. Absolutely incredible, and they're in the cookbook.
Yes, awesome. So they have a chocolate version and a lemon version of the ricotta pancakes. Another option is doing cottage cheese pancakes. That can be a simple recipe you get online. I don't have that one in the cookbook. And then you could also just use the Kodiak pancake mix. I tend to put some unsweet applesauce in there because when you put the milk and the eggs, it tends to be somewhat dry for our family. So if you have kiddos that are a little bit picky, make it a little bit more moist for them. Just throw in some unsweet applesauce. That's my hidden secret there. Nice. So I put those protein pancakes with some fruit. That is a non-prep, convenient, non-processed food. So that is always a good grab and go for breakfast. Because it takes no time at all.
Love it.
So that was example 2.
Killer. I think we've had some version of all of those. I definitely lean toward the yogurt parfait. The way I do it is a non-fat Greek yogurt, plain. And then I actually use like Oikos vanilla Greek yogurt at night as like a little bit of a dessert, almost like a little bit of an ice cream. But then I just mix my non-fat Greek yogurt in the morning with typically blueberries or strawberries is my go-to. I've also used blackberries, boysenberries, raspberries, whatever fruit you want, whatever berry is particular for me. And then I use peanut butter granola in mine. And so that's a staple for me. Absolutely love that, the parfait, but the pancakes are golden. The kids love them, right? And I know some people just, they don't care for Greek yogurt. You can learn to like it. Okay, trust me. At one point, I didn't either, but those are killer options. So good. And again, go check out the cookbook on our website for free. You get some of these baked in there. Oh, see what I did there with baked in there? I didn't understand that. Man, you're impressed right now? Oh my gosh. Right, you got to cut me off. Let's go to lunch.
Okay. So for lunch, salad with pre-grilled chicken. So you can, again, take a couple minutes to cook some extra chicken on the weekend, chop it up, throw it in the freezer, and that could be an easy lunch to grab and put on top of a salad. And then add a carb. That would be a fruit. High fiber crackers could be Triscuits. So you have your salad as your non-starchy vegetable. And then you have your protein, obviously, with the chicken, and the fruit, high fiber carb. So your energy.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
And then when fresh is running out, right, that always happens before you want to go back to the grocery store in my house. You really want to have that freezer stocked. So have some steam bags of veggies. And then you could, again, just put that with a bean burger. That would be an example. I, again, make that ahead of time, throw it in the freezer, and pull that out. Or Morningstar has a really great black bean burger that I think we have all enjoyed in the past. Just a little on the spicy side for sensitive children, but that's why I kind of went towards making our own. And those are very fast as well. So the third option would be a quinoa salad or brown rice bowl or a Barilla protein plus pasta bowl. So you basically can take any type of grain, high fiber, and a little bit of protein in all of those, and then throw in whatever you have on hand. So you have just a tiny bit of leftover chicken, not enough to help you feel full. So then you're pairing it with the protein in the quinoa, or the protein plus pasta. And then you can throw some beans in there if you can. or whatever veggies you have on hand. So maybe you have some tomatoes or cucumbers. You can just dice those up and toss it together. So what's nice about this is you can make it plain, unflavored ahead of time, and you can change the flavor throughout the week. So you can use like balsamic vinegar the first day, and then you could use salsa the next day, or
No.
marinara the following. So just to kind of make it different so you're not getting burnt out. Um, yeah, that would be my lunch examples. Honestly, lunches are hardest for me just because probably not my favorite meal of the day. Breakfast is. And so, what I love to do with lunch is actually just make extra for dinner so I can use leftovers. So, I think that's you're cooking once, eating twice is ideal for your chef at home. So,
Nice. It's funny you say that, not to go on a tangent, but I've never thought about what is my favorite meal. I guess it depends on what I'm having. I do love my breakfast routine, but I feel so much of that is like the morning, the coffee, like the energy. I don't know. But I sometimes, again, use something kind of like what I eat for breakfast at night, almost as a dessert with like a vanilla yogurt, berries, granola. I'm back to my little parfait bowl. But I've never thought about that. But then it's like, man, depending on what my wife is cooking, I'm pumped for dinner. The kids are back home. So it's interesting. And then for lunch, I just go to Chipotle, So no, I'm just kidding. I make stuff at home. Today I had like a multi-bean chili made at home and had some of the high fiber Triscuit crackers with it, and a piece of fruit. We've got some delicious apples right now that we have in the fridge, and eating one of those. So, okay, that's awesome. That gets us through lunch, and love the variable piece too, where you can kind of just change throughout the week with that batch, cook up front. Keep in mind you've got some like either ingredients or dressings that you can put on there to flip the script on kind of the flavor profile throughout the week so that it doesn't feel like you're eating the same thing every day. So, All right, big homecoming for our meals. Let's talk about dinner.
Okay, so dinner, I think of mixed dishes most often. And I think the biggest thing we forget about here is just adding that non-starchy vegetable. There might be some veggies in that mixed dish, so we're like, oh, we're covered. But we're not. We're not covered because we're not going to feel as satisfied if we don't have a huge salad on the side or some broccoli or green beans or whatever your family likes. And definitely here, the more variety, the better. I highly recommend, obviously, our cookbook, yes, but it only has one chapter on veggies. And so we will hopefully add on as we go to those chapters. But cookieandkate.com is a really great vegetable only resource. So you're like, oh, I'm super burnt out on my carrots. Go to her website, type in carrots at the top, and you're like, now have 15 ways you can make carrots.
Nice.
So that's a great way to boost the variety in the veggies that you love, but also to learn how to like some new veggies. Yes, we do have a chapter in our cookbook of simple veggie sides. That can be a good starting point.
Give that website one more time if someone missed it.
Oh, yeah. Cookie and Kate. So her dog's name is Cookie.
Cookie. There it is. There's a backstory.
And
Cookie
Kate.
And Kate. Not cooking with Kate or cooking and Kate. Cookie, right? Cookie like the dog or the delicious treat that you eat at the end of the day.
Right. Okay. And her name is spelled with a K. Kate. K-A-T-E. Yeah.
Beautiful. Great shout out to Kate and Cookie, right?
Yeah. So again, to circle back, to the 4 pillars in dinner, you just have so much variety you can choose for your protein. And think about that plate. Your 4th year plate protein, a 4th year plate carbohydrates, and your non-starchy vegetable page. So if you do have any blood sugar concerns, that the veggies that go in that carbohydrate portion are potatoes, peas, corn, and beans. Potatoes, peas, corn, and beans are in that 4th of the plate just because those are more energy-based veggies. Those are not bad veggies. They are really great. Still, a lot of those have protein and fiber in them. But then the non-starchy vegetables are the ones you can eat a ton of because they're lower in calories. They're not really there for energy. They're there to fill your tummy. So don't be afraid of adding sauces and olive oil or avocado oil or what have you to bring out the flavor in veggies. It also helps you absorb the fat-soluble vitamins. But here, I gave you 2 examples. I gave you one example, the mixed dish plus a non-starchy veggie, but here's 2 more. So the fast one would be salmon, brown rice, and broccoli. That is like the easiest to clean up in my family. Like the
Mm.
salmon's all gone. The brown rice, I don't have to really watch it. And the broccoli is, you just have to chop it. So that one's the fast one for us. And then maybe fancy. Last night I made homemade chicken, breaded chicken with, you can make like a sweet potato souffle. That's basically baked sweet potato, like twice baked sweet potato. That recipe is in the cookbook. I think it's called
Yes.
twice baked sweet potato.
Mm.
And then you could throw in, roasted vegetables, like roasted Brussels sprouts or roasted carrots, what have you. So there is dinner.
Incredible, incredible. Two big takeaways. Again, you can head over to the website and check out the 4 pillars. So you can go to imagonutrition.com, and in the top navigation or the side, if you're on mobile, just tap 4 pillars. You can read through this again, just to see all the foods that are. We don't list all of them, but we give you a list of like foods include. So like lean meat, what foods are included. So we go through that, like, chicken and turkey and tip top loin, round cuts of beef, that sort of stuff. So we'll give you a few more details there. Fruits and veggies, all of them, seafood, dairy, whole grains, nuts and seeds, all that sort of stuff. So we actually give you those. So head over there, check out that free resource, and then head over to the free resources page. That worked out. I didn't plan on it. And that's just imagonutrition.com/free. In the navigation, I think it says free resources. You can just tap on that. And the first one should be on the top or the upper left, is that new cookbook. This is very new that Danielle worked on, uploaded it to the website just pretty recently. And so fresh, new free resource for you. Again, already seen way more people downloading that than anything else on a consistent basis. So do yourself a favor, check out the 4 pillars, check out the 60+ page cookbook for some of these. And remember that, yes, nutrition is about purpose, but it's also about pleasure. So have fun with these recipes, have fun with the food, explore new combinations and new foods. We do see in research that preferring a wide array of foods is best. So continue to explore. Start with the foods you love and then continue to add to that list that you absolutely love, right? If you only like 1 or 2 vegetables, great. Start there. Use the website, Cookie and Kate. Go there and see how to make your favorite vegetables a lot of different ways. And then perhaps you'll start seeing some other vegetables that maybe you haven't preferred much of in the past. But, oh man, if I made them like that, that might change some things for, Brussels sprouts and asparagus or whatnot. Okay. So all that's to say, a couple great resources. Thank you so much, Danielle, for helping us land the plate with these meals and put the 4 pillars into action, because that's ultimately what it's about. It's about practical strategies, not just ethereal frameworks, right? And so we hope this episode, our 100th, has been fun, entertaining, but ultimately, hopefully, helpful for you. If we can help in any way, contextualize this for you, for your family, for your preferences, for your unique situation or goals, please let us know. You can head over to imagonutrition.com/contact. You can get in touch with us there if you'd like to discuss further what this means for you and your family. If this episode's been helpful, please subscribe, so that you get the next 100 episodes delivered automatically to your device. Drop us a review. Let us know how we're doing. And share with a friend. We love to help as many people as possible. That's why we do it. If you're on social media, you can follow us at Imago Nutrition. That's IMAGO Nutrition across all major social media platforms. And as always, we'd like to thank Happy Pill the Band for our theme song, Thinkin Bout Food. We'll talk to you soon.